was that damn noise? What the hell? Ah! God damn it! What the hell was that? My eyes. Who was that? You've been watching stupid shows for the last ever. What are you trying to do? Wait a minute. I thought I got rid of my other clone. Well, you got rid of that guy, but you didn't get rid of me. So who the hell are you? Just another one of the clones. Just like you. Now just wait a damn minute. I ain't no clone. I'm the original Tom. I know that for sure. And what makes you think you're the original? Oh yeah, that's right. I got all of his original ideas. We all have his ideas, you idiot. That's what makes us clones. Also, wouldn't it be I have all of my ideas instead of his? Haha! Yeah! That's right. That's what I thought. Alright. No need to be trigger happy. God damn. I knew it. So what are you doing here? Kinda seems like you've been watching Mystery Science Theater at Takeshi's Castle for 3,000 years. Well, I've been waiting this long so I can get some nice robot action with a nice android babe. You know what I'm saying? So, did you ever find it? You know I did. Who are you talking to? Just start the damn review. As you can tell, today we're going to talk about Nier Automata, an action RPG from Platinum Games. But to contain it as simply an action RPG is a huge disservice. Nier Automata is the brainchild of one director, Yoko Taro, who also developed the predecessor to Nier Automata, which is known as, well, Nier. If you haven't really heard or seen of the man, there's good reason. And that reason is? Well, he has been known for, kind of developing cult fan games with a niche crowd, like the original Nier or Drakengard. Dragon what? They're niche little Japanese games that you're probably not going to hear about. Ah! I gotcha. Yeah, unfortunately not a lot of people have really played any of Yoko Taro's games, but there's a good reason for it. While his games like the original Nier and Drakengard have absolutely amazing stories, they are all marred by lackluster or awful gameplay. Which is really a shame because there are some absolutely amazing stories in here. Though something is very different with Nier Automata, in the sense that this time around we have some really great gameplay from Platinum Games, the creator of Bayonetta and Metal Gear Rising. Now at this point, I'm going to give you a little closure in the fact that there's a lot of things to talk about in this review. I honestly at this point don't know how long the video is going to be, but if you want to skip over to another section, just check these right here, this link right here. It's going to be hovering right beside me or right at my face, who knows. Well, with that out of the way, where should we start with Nier Automata, man? That's honestly a good point. I don't even know where to start with a review of this caliber. How about we start with the story? Hey, that's not a bad idea. Nier Automata is of course the sequel to the original Nier that came out in 2010. But don't worry about it. You don't actually have to play that game to enjoy Automata. Automata takes place in the far future of the year 11,945. And in this future, aliens have come and invaded the Earth and left behind machine life forms to fight for them. In the catastrophe, all the humans have left the Earth and settled on the moon, building a race of androids to destroy the machine life forms. An unknown amount of time has passed since the machines have started this war, since at this time in the game, we're at the 14th Machine War. In this latest iteration of the war, Project Yorha, a group of combat androids, have been bred to bring an end to this long-lasting war. You play the role of Yorha No. 2 Type B, or as we all know and love her, 2B. 2B, along with her companion, another android who's a scanner type by the name of 9S, are tasked with finding a way to annihilate the machine lifeform menace, once and for all. From there on, the game starts and gives you a relatively simple mission, to go out into the land and destroy the target. Once you start the game, you better hold on to your butts, because I guarantee you this is going to be a ride unlike you have ever experienced. Oh, come on, man, that can't be it. For God's sake, you're playing a gawk dominatrix android fighting robots with her twink companion. Really, dude? You can't even just, suspend your disbelief for a few moments? Just, come on, man, really? It's not that bad. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking the same thing, in the sense that you look at the cover and think to yourself that this is just some dumb, wacky Japanese game with a heroine that has some nice TNA, and all that she does is pose provocatively in front of the camera. And I'm here to tell you, it's not like that at all. Really, dude? Okay, a teeny bit. But the game isn't like that at all. Honest to goodness, when the ball starts rolling, you will be treated to a deeply engaging, brilliantly written, and brilliantly acted story. To go through Nier Automata is to go through a beautiful yet sad tale about a group of individuals that live in a world that holds all the answers away from them. Through numerous points in the game, you'll laugh, you'll cheer, you'll be filled with joy, but you'll also feel despair, heartbreak, and you might honestly cry a little bit. Nier asks and answers a lot of spiritual, moral, and logical questions, while addressing concepts like love, family, existence, and what it means to live. And Nier has these concepts in every single line of dialogue. Not a single line, not a single quest, and not a single interaction with anything is ever wasted. Everything in this game takes into account the themes that Automata discusses, and it does it with such subtlety and finesse that you don't even feel the full brunt of what happened until well after it happened. But not everything has to be so serious. Nier has some of the most wholesome and genuine humor to be found in any game. There's 21 different joke endings in this game. I'm not joking. Well, maybe with this one, but you don't know. As you might have heard, there are quite a few endings to Nier Automata. Matter of fact, there's 26 endings in all, correlating to every letter of the alphabet. Now, endings F through Z are all joke endings, basically cut from the same cloth as
Snake, what have you done? You changed the future. You've created a time paradox.
But the other 5 endings, endings A through E, are very essential to the overall story. Basically, the first 2 playthroughs, without spoiling it, equate to pretty much what I would call the prologue that really sets up the entire game. In this sort of prologue, you alternate between 2B and 9S, and they both have special critical moments that only one or the other experiences. Now, some people might complain that you are in some essence completing the game a second time, but I feel that it's 1, not that bad, and 2, wholly necessary. For one, the game takes a lot less time to go through. It's about half as long as the first playthrough, and you get to complete any of the side quests you didn't finish. But more importantly, it lets you experience the game through a different perspective, and a very important one at that. Playing the game through 9S's eyes gives us not just important bits of the overall plot that 2B doesn't know about, but more importantly expands and further develops 2B as a character. So basically, by playing as 9S, you get to see all of her amazing feats and her bottomless heart from the receiving end? That's exactly it, my man. Man, I wonder what it'd be like to experience the full Tom through someone else's eyes. Yeah, man. If only. Ah, yeah. No kidding. Anyway, after you play the first 2 routes, the game really opens up. Route C takes place immediately after the first 2 routes and carries on to the final 3 endings of the game. Throughout this portion, you'll go through heartache as all of your actions and really the consequences to those actions finally catch up to you. If I said I didn't tear up at certain times, I'd be a big fat liar. But if for some reason you still aren't convinced by Nier's story, please, for my sake and the master Yoko Taro's sake, just give it a shot. But you know what? By the time you get to the end of this review, I'm pretty sure you'd be convinced. Hell, at least you made it this far. Now, the praise for this game doesn't just end at the amazing story. Just about every other facet of this game is excellently developed. For instance, the combat system has gotten a complete overhaul from the original, and it mixes the well-known and critically lauded hack-and-slash mechanics of the Platinum games with the unique and diverse bullet hell mechanics and changing perspectives that could be found in Yoko Taro games. In combat, 2B has two main weapons, one being a regular/lighter sword and the heavier attack usually being a heavier weapon. But if swords aren't your cup of tea, there's a wide variety of weapons ranging from spears, hammers, axes, and gauntlets. Each weapon handles significantly different from the other, and you can get some really cool and interesting combinations. You can also upgrade every weapon you have, like in an RPG, using materials and to increase your stat, which of course is to be expected. But one thing where I was pleasantly surprised were the weapon stories that every time you upgrade them, you get a new one. Basically, when you get a new weapon, you get to read a little bit about the history of the weapon with a nice image to go along with it. Every time you upgrade your weapon, you unlock a new portion of the story, and when you upgrade it all the way, you get the whole picture, so to speak. My favorite of all the weapons was the Iron Pipe, which is the weapon you use in the prologue to the original Nier, and it has a very touching weapon story to go along with it. But on top of that, you get your own little drone helper called a pod that can provide you with suppressing fire or its own special abilities. Like a big-ass laser or
Bombs?
Most fights in the game consist of you dealing with about 3 different types of enemies, which consist of small, medium, and large enemies. Those are then divided into range and melee classes, with a whole slew of variations that make you constantly have to change your strategy. The range elements to the combat play out almost like bullet hell games. Essentially, you'll be dodging a whole ton of glowing and darker bullets. The red bullets could be destroyed by shooting back, but the darker ones are the only thing that you can do is dodge them, or in some instances, attempt to dodge them. It might seem really odd in concept, but in motion, it brings a really interesting dynamic to fights that you can't find anywhere else. But we haven't even mentioned the changing perspectives that bring a whole lot of fun.
Wait, changing perspectives? Like 2D to top down?
Precisely, me?
Really? That sounds kinda obviously really just odd and gimmicky.
Might seem a little gimmicky, but wait till you play it. As I just said, there's times when the game will switch to a 2D side-scroller perspective or to a top-down twin-stick shooter perspective. It's in these areas where the bullet hell segments really shine the brightest, but that doesn't mean the gameplay is diminished in any way. When you change perspectives, it seamlessly brings the combat from the main perspective and it works absolutely flawlessly. It actually kind of reminds me of a Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine, where it kind of seamlessly went from shooting combat to melee combat, almost seamlessly on the dime.
Wait, people actually remember that game?
Well, of course we did. It was actually pretty decent. Too bad it never really got a sequel, though. And of course, we can't forget the hacking segments with 9S. Since he's a scanner type, he's able to hack into the machine life forms and destroy them. Though there are moments where you'll be able to either control them or have them become your ally. When you hack into something, it switches to an isometric top-down perspective where you have to destroy a core to finish the goon. Sometimes these segments are really vital to the game and actually provide a lot more for it, like when you hack into somebody's brain or their subconscious. It also is nice to change it up because you're not just changing up the way the combat works, but you're also providing something of worth to the story. But this perfect melding of gameplay and story doesn't just stop at the combat mechanics, as it even permeates into some of the level design. Every area in Nier Automata is finely tuned to be just the perfect size and interconnected with each other. A good comparison would be the world design of Dark Souls, where we have Firelink Shrine as the center and all the different areas branching out from there. Nier is similar, where the Resistance camp serves as our center for the game, but also a nice little safe spot away from any of the combat that you can catch your breath. and the locales stretching from the resistance camp are varied and unique. You might be in the ruins of a long destroyed city, a vast and unforgiving desert, to the odd and whimsical nature of the amusement park and the decaying castle in the overgrown forest. Each locale isn't just unique in representation, but also in the stories that are told in those areas and the emotions that they give you. You'll be so well acquainted with these zones that you move through them almost as if you were going through autopilot.
But wait, wouldn't that be a negative? Why would you want to go through the same zone and kind of just drone through it?
Thing is, it's nothing like that. It's almost kind of like driving, where you just been through an area so many times you just drive. You're kind of an autopilot. You know where to go. You know which are the easiest places to go. It's kind of almost nostalgic. When you spend time in these areas and you completed a ton of the many little stories, all of which are usually fantastic, you come out of it fondly remembering those zones. Passing through them gives you a sense of, nostalgia. It just goes to show how much work the developers put into this game. It's kind of like the dialogue system where every single place is just used. Nothing feels too small or too big. Of course, this being my show, we gotta talk about the soundtrack to Nier Automata. I ain't gonna lie, I'm just gonna tell it to you straight. No hyperbole, no exaggeration. Nier Automata has the greatest soundtrack to ever grace the medium of video games. To start, the soundtrack to Nier is absolutely monumental. There are around 40 full, unique songs, and every single one of them is beautiful and memorable. Every one of these tracks perfectly evokes the feeling that it is tied to and means so much more than that. On top of every track being damn near perfect, most of them are split into two categories, an instrumental track and a vocal track. Sometimes full tracks will play with or without the vocals at the seemingly perfect times, and it always leaves a mark on you. To add further depth to these tracks, they are split up into quiet, medium, and dynamic ranges for the appropriate moments. And when they properly use all of the tracks and their variations in the right way, it produces a feeling that's honestly overwhelming. You're whisked away from your simple life into something so impossibly grander than yourself. To say at these moments that I was fully immersed is honestly an understatement. But there are some other moments where it's not as dynamic, but still incredibly memorable. Take the music box scene for instance. You're given a quest to go find an android's old music box, one that he has really fond memories and attachment to. When you finally end up picking up the box and it starts playing, you might not immediately recognize the beautiful little tune that it creates. It's beautiful and melancholic, but once you leave the area and you go back to the main part of the resistance camp, you notice that it was playing the music box version of the camp theme, and it just blows you away. And the game is littered with tons of moments like these that surprise you in the best of ways.
So boss, are we about done talking about Nier Automata?
Not quite. We forgot to mention how whenever you hack into something, the music changes to a 16-bit version of the tune you're listening to. As I said, whenever you hack a machine life form, the tune that you're listening to seamlessly transitions to an 8 or 16-bit version. And then when you're done, it seamlessly switches back to the normal one. But with that, I think we've finally summed up most of Nier Automata.
So what's your take on the game, man?
I don't know what to say. It's almost so big and so grand. I don't even know what to say. I don't know how to put it into words.
Then if we can't put it into words, let's put it into soul.
No, we're not doing it this episode.
Oh.
Like I said, it's really difficult to talk about Nier Automata because it is so much more than its individual parts. It is absolutely outstanding game and level design that just makes you want to come back for more. It has, no joke, the greatest soundtrack to ever grace the medium of video games. The whole game from beginning to end is an unrelenting emotional tour de force that never quits. Throughout the game, you'll laugh, you'll cheer, and you will most certainly cry as you go through an adventure that brilliantly touches on ideas such as love, family, existentialism, and what it means to have a soul. When you're done with this game like I was the other day, you'll just sit there, just basking in your emotions. There's no human word that describes the experience that I went through playing Nier Automata. So now, when we get to the end of the review, I'm stumped because I don't know what to rate it. Not in the sense of whether this game is an 8 or a 9. No, it's in the sense that you cannot just put a number to the experience this game gives you, because this game is so much bigger than that. Nier Automata is an outstanding achievement in this medium that is really unlike any other. Before I was playing this game in full, I was playing Mass Effect Andromeda, as if you would have seen in my last review. But I had a taste of Nier Automata already. And goddamn, all I could think of was, man, I would give anything to throw Mass Effect Andromeda out the window so I could play some damn Nier. Keep playing that game. So coming down to an end, I have decided that I'm going to create a whole new rank. A rank so monumentally above 9 or 10 that those don't even compare. And I humbly and proudly give Nier Automata the highest accolade that I can give it. And that's the accolade of masterpiece. Like I've said a dozen damn times in this review, Nier Automata is so much more than its individual parts. It's a game that I know will stand the test of time. I honestly don't care who you are, but you deserve to go through this tour de force because it has the things that we can all enjoy and relate to. I don't care if you don't like weird Japanese games. I don't care if you don't like hack and slash games. I don't even care if you don't even like games in general. I don't know who you are or where you are. I don't care. You deserve to go through the experience that Nier Automata gives you. That's how much this experience was worth to me. If I could just convince even one person to play this damn game, I would have done my job as a reviewer. Well, if it means anything, you got me to take another look at it. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. But where are we going to from here? Feel a monumental war is upon us. But it's not in the year 11945 AD. No, it lies much farther than that. Where and when do you mean ahead? There's only one such place in time where war is everlasting and eternal, and that is in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium.